Matt Payton here at the Eagles Nest in Marietta, Georgia, as Ginger High Colvin joins us. The Lady Tigers victorious here this evening, 76-41. Coach, long trip down. This has always been just a difficult place for you guys to play. It's just kind of one of those buildings, facilities, whatever you want to say. But here tonight, you guys, maybe in your final trip to the Eagles Nest, had your best performance in this building.
You know, we're blessed in our league that we don't have just, now that we've added some teams, it's stretched it out a little bit. But I have a good friend that coaches at Montana State Northern. Their trips are 14 hours, they're 20 hours. I mean, they're going everywhere to play. So we're not used to that. And when Life joined, I think we weren't used to it. We didn't know how to handle that sometimes. And we would come down here and at times be extremely flat. But we came down today and we weren't we were flat about the first 7 minutes.
Maybe, yeah.
And then I feel like got our stride and played pretty well.
Talk to me about Maddie Boyle tonight. She hit some big shots, and it's been her role has changed and shifted and adjusted in different things throughout this season.
Right.
Here tonight, comes back off the bench with Bailey's return, and man, she delivered 7 of 8, 5 of 6 from deep, 19 points.
Well, I talked to her today, and she'd come into a game. I can't even remember what game it was, and I kind of jumped on her because she came right in the game and she took an open three. And I'm always a believer in just get a little bit sweaty before you take that shot. And I asked her, I said, if I done that to you and asked you, maybe made you a little gimpy about shooting, she said, well, I think I'm thinking about it a little bit. And I said, well, we need you to shoot the ball. And she came out. Maddie shoots the ball extremely well, obviously. And she's a playmaker. She does a lot of things well, and she just wants to win. And it was so nice to see her get out there today and the ball go through the hoop.
The only other Lady Tiger in double figures, Courtney Pritchett, she had 11, and she continues to shoot it really well, 3 of 4. And you're working now Bailey back into that lineup, and I thought it was interesting, your conversation with Bailey, with Lexi being out and the team's needs. She comes back in. She's not the point guard. Lauren Lee stays in that role, and Bailey jumps to one of those wing spots and, really gives you some options.
And I know you call Courtney Swiss, and deservedly so. I think we've got another. I think Bailey fits in that category. It's not a position. That's what I talked to Maddie Bull about. Maddie's not done anything wrong. It's just Bailey does a little bit of everything. She's a rebounder. She's a passer. She does a great job in our defense, and it was nice just to see her get out there. It was more than nice. I was ecstatic to be able to have another kid to throw into that rotation.
Walk me through the lead up to that. Bailey's been out the last few weeks, and I know that's an injury that she had been dealing with for quite a while. It didn't just pop up.
Right.
It was just one, though, that got to the point where it needed to be managed a bit, and I know it was a difficult decision. But getting her back at this stage and a little bit of time left in the regular season, certainly the timing works nicely.
It does, and we just needed to get minutes in for her today. The minutes actually worked out great. I'm convinced she played on somewhat of a fracture from our first Pikeville game. And we had a big letdown when we lost Bailey and then come out and then bam, Lexi's right behind, and we had some sickness. And so it was tough. There's no doubt about that. But having her back just adds so much to us. And another one, I'm sure you'll probably get to her, but I think Shyla Calvert's playing her best basketball for us right now. Floor game, and she's playing smart, stuff that doesn't show up on a stat sheet. But I'm so proud of the way she's playing. And I told her the first half, I felt like she had a couple open threes that she was hesitant to take, and I just want her to play with confidence. And she's playing great basketball, and her floor game and just the little things that she does for us, I'm really happy with her.
And I feel like defensively, to further that point, what Shyla's been able to do, she just always seems to be in a passing lane. I know late in the game she was digging there on a deep entry, and she came across to help those, like you mentioned. They don't show up in the stat sheet, but just active.
But that's something that we went over in scout. We told them they could do that, so that just shows you that that's a senior that's come out. She's smart. She knows what needs to do. Super quick. And I say this all the time, there's not a kid that's physically tougher than Shyla. We talk about what Bailey went through. We talk about what those kids went through. Shyla's gone through a lot to be on this floor. And I'm just so glad to see her playing so well right now.
As we kind of put a bow on this game specifically, you've got a day or so. You'll make the trip over to UT Southern.
Right.
That's a team that's in desperate need of wins, is the middle of the pack. Let's touch on it. Thomas More gets beat tonight by Freed Hardeman. That's a huge win for Freed. Thomas More now, it condenses this thing even more. Pikeville up on Lindsey Wilson as we speak with a few seconds to go. so here you had those teams in that 8 and 9,
Yep.
and Lindsay, was right there with them. That's going to condense even further.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
thought there may be some separation, but this
Yeah.
thing's going to tighten up even more.
Well, and I think it's sad to some extent because people will open up tomorrow and say, oh, gosh, Thomas More got beat by Freed. Thomas More got beat by a good team. And it's not a knock on Thomas More. Thomas More's not falling apart. There's nothing like that. Freed Hartman is a very good basketball team. Lindsay getting beat at Pikeville. Pikeville's a very good basketball team. It just speaks volumes about our league and how good they are on any given night. And heading up to Tennessee Southern, wow, they're just, they're a super talented team. They have all kinds of offensive firepower. And like you said, every game is so important. And these teams are still scratching and clawing for a berth in the national tournament. And a 64-team tournament, I feel like I've said it all year long, I feel like there's 9 teams in our league that belong in it.
You mentioning UT Southern, Faith Sherrill, one of the league's top scorers.
Right.
You've got Taylor McNary, one of the best point guards in this league.
Yep.
Coach Evans has some really nice pieces. It's a
Yep.
team you've seen earlier this year, but
Yes.
That'll be a tough one there at Pulaski.
Yeah, it is. They play well at home, and you said they've got scores. They shoot it well. Coach Billy Evans does a great job with them. They'll come out and they will play hard, and it is we're at a spot where teams want to knock us off, and I understand that. You always want to come in and you always want to knock that team off because at this point in the season you get a team that's ranked in the top 5, just like what Freed did today. That gives them credibility, and not that they didn't already have credibility, but that gives them that notch in their armor that they can then go through and have a national tournament berth. And I know when we walk into Tennessee Southern Saturday, they're going to be wanting the same thing.
Lighthearted moment here. Any chance that you want Ashley McGeorge on your Pictionary team moving forward after what we saw today in her? It was a pit bull.
What was her? It was bad. It was.
Well, everybody was
pit
guessing.
bull.
Everybody was guessing.
And she tried to draw a version of a pit bull dog animal. I can't remember. It was no justification. It was embarrassing. Joe and Sheila are here. I'm sure as parents it would be an embarrassing moment to have a child be that bad in Pictionary.
Nobody guessed a dog in general, let alone
somebody
a pit
guessed
bull.
a hairless cat.
Yeah, hairless cat was maybe
a pig,
the most accurate.
I think a pig. So yeah, that's how the Lady Tigers pass their time sometimes.
But anyway, funny nonetheless. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
On this
I
one.
just want to say hey to Gracie. Gracie didn't get to make the trip with us, and she's obviously back home doing rehab. And from what Josh says, had a great day. When you go and you have one of those injuries like she had, that's hard to come back from. And she's a winner, and I just want to say hey to her. We miss her. Like I told you last time, I'm like a mama duck. I just want all my ducklings together, and when one's not there, we don't feel right, but we sure do miss her.
Coach, congratulations. We'll see you Saturday.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Ginger High Colvin and the Lady Tigers victorious. They knock off Life here this evening in Marietta, Georgia, 76-41, your final score.